Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure. And this is my perspective. So I had a little clip. This clip is apparently from some reality show. I believe people were saying it was from a reality show called Love is Blind. I've never watched that show. Apparently, this is a clip from that show. And of course, people are saying, oh, it's more to the story, blah, blah, blah. It probably is. But for the purposes of this conversation, we're going to watch this clip and then we'll come back and talk about it. So here we go.
How much work I put in to do that for when
we met
for your family. I woke up at 8 a.m. and went to the grocery store and had to hunt down a bunch of stuff, season meat, figure out the grill, do all that was work. And after that, I came back and did the dishes. If you sat here and grilled a whole meal for my whole family and I come back to dishes in the sink, I'm not gonna ask you to do the dishes. I'm probably just gonna do them. Maybe I didn't communicate that, sure. However, if I have to communicate that, I am not the one for you.
Do not try to make it seem like I'm not here doing my part at all. We're not going to spin it like that.
Nobody's spinning like anything.
I've been given such a negative response, a temper tantrum sometimes, like an attitude. I just don't understand it. If it's about the dishes, if it's about me going to sleep, if it's about a text, all of that, it's the slap in the face.
Great. I'm glad you feel that way. There's a lot I could respond to, but there is no scenario that I see myself standing there and saying yes to making you my wife forever. And with that in mind, and I'm glad we can at least agree that I don't ever want to see you again. This was nice. I wish you the best of luck. Oh, yeah. You realize how much work I put.
Now, that was interesting because I don't know all of the context of everything that was being discussed. Like I said, I've never watched this show. I don't know who these people are. I don't know what their communication has been like thus far. The only thing that I'm going by is the clip that we just saw. But what we did see, he articulated an issue, right? His issue was he went and did the legwork of basically making dinner for her and her family. Okay. Go and get all the food, prepare the food, grill the food, cook the food, and I guess serve it. I don't know. And then came back to the dishes, I guess, were not done. Things were not tidied up. And so he's like, basically, why didn't you do that? Because had the roles been reversed, I would have just done that without you asking me to do it. So it's interesting to me also that when the clip first started, she went immediately to the gaslight. He was like, how much work it is? She's like, to cuddle? Like, nobody works to cuddle. So she more than likely, she more than likely understood exactly what he was talking about as he was talking about it. She did not have a proper response to that either. She sat with it for like 2 seconds. And then she immediately went into defending herself. This is actually very common with people to do. Couples do this all the time, whether they married or not. Somebody will say something. They'll have a concern that they bring. The other person, instead of acknowledging what the other person said and acknowledging that other person is probably, they could be right about this situation. I was probably wrong, or I'm trying to see it from their perspective and how my actions impacted them. Whether I meant to do it, whether I meant any harm by it or what have you, my action or inaction impacted them this way. They experienced it this way. And they're coming to me to tell me this was the experience from that. Now, a lot of people's go-to is to do exactly what she just did. When confronted with somebody's experience of you that is not flattering to you, they're not praising you for something, they're actually holding you accountable for something and bringing it to your attention that, hey, you dropped the ball in this particular situation. You know that, right? The go-to usually for a lot of people is defense. Let me defend myself because I perceive it as an attack. I perceive, and women got it bad too. And I'll tell you where it come from. A lot of women got it bad because anytime our men tell us they didn't like something that we did or something that we said or whatever the case may be, we immediately take that as he don't like us as a person. So not only did we do something that he did not like, that we are now bad people because we did something he didn't like. Women got that bad. I've gone through that, in my younger years, feeling like, what I'm saying, every time there was a critique, every time there was a criticism that, what I'm saying, I'm being attacked. You're trying to say I'm not a good wife, or you trying to say I'm not a good person, or you trying to say I'm not a good woman, or blah, 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 blah. And so from that feeling, you start defending yourself. And she did exactly that. She felt attacked, although he didn't really attack her, right? He was holding her responsible and accountable and bringing to her attention that she dropped the ball. If I did all of the leg work of going to get the food, cooking the food, preparing the food, serving the food, why wasn't your immediate thought to help me by simply just doing the dishes, right? Now, her response was to defend herself. Well, we're not going to act like I'm not showing up at all. You know what I'm saying? And then she tried to spin it. You know what I'm saying? Well, I got a negative response from you. You threw a temper tantrum. You know what I'm saying? You da 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 da. So instead of acknowledging and taking the accountability for, you know what, babe, you right. You know what I'm saying? I should have washed the dishes. I wasn't even really thinking about it. I apologize. That was selfish of me to do that. Next time you won't have to say this to me again. Now I'll make sure that, what I'm saying, I'm more mindful in situations like this. I apologize. That would have actually been taken a little bit better, probably. He probably would not have broken up with her unless this was a repetitive conversation. But this is how miscommunication, this is how resentment, this is how issues that are small become big. This is how you feel a certain type of way. You walk away from conversations feeling away and all of this other type of stuff. And it become these unresolved things. It become these sticking points. It become these trigger points. And all of this type of stuff is because a lot of times you're so busy trying to defend yourself against the perceived attack that you can't actually hear what is being said. She missed his whole point. She missed his whole point by sitting there and trying to deflect it and trying to escape the accountability, essentially. And, you know what I'm saying? And just not say, you know what, you're right. You know what I'm saying? I got so caught up talking to my family and that I didn't even think about it. I apologize. I should have washed the dishes. Now, if he didn't want to accept that, or, you know what I'm saying, it was still going to be the same outcome, then nothing you can do about that. But at the same time, that would have been a better response than trying to defend yourself and then trying to spin it and flip it. You know what I'm saying? That he was the one doing something wrong. Women got this bad. Women got it bad. They got it bad that, you know what I'm saying, what he said to me is not as important as how it made me feel. I feel attacked. I don't want him to talk about it. I don't want him to bring it up because it makes me feel inadequate. It makes me feel like I'm not doing my job and that I'm not pulling my weight. And maybe I feel some way about that because maybe I'm not pulling my weight or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just saying, hey, you know what, my bad, I'll do better, and then actually do better, she rather just deflect the whole situation. And he essentially did the right thing. If this is behavior that he doesn't like and it seems to be repetitive or it seems to be consistent or this just seems to be who she is and he not rocking with that, then absolutely there's no way that he should go into a lifelong commitment with a person that he don't like how they move. He don't like how she moving. He don't like how she's responding to things. And for him, this was probably a moment that sort of captured it in a nutshell. Because she missed the point, there wasn't anything else to say. Because I'm not gonna tussle with you about the fact that that should have been a second nature thing. If I did all the cooking, then you do the cleaning. Right? You do the cleaning. You can do some cleaning. If I did all the work before that, right? You could do that. Why would you leave it dirty? Just help me out. You know, just good looking out for me. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, because I might have been tired. Women complain about that all the time. If I cook dinner, why come you can't wash the dishes? Exactly. Right? Especially if I cook a big dinner for a lot of people. That's more than cooking just for your family. You know, you might spend an hour, you know, something like that, cooking something like for your family. But if it's a big deal, a big gathering, that's hours worth of cooking. That's food prep. I've cooked big dinners before. Many of us have. You know, Thanksgiving dinners and Christmas dinners and all this other kind of stuff. Family done come over, big old thing. You know what I'm saying? That's hours worth of cooking. I have been up and cooked all night. Right? That's hours worth of cooking. It would have been nice to have somebody to come behind it and clean the dishes. Like I ended up cleaning the dishes, but you get what I'm saying. It would have been nice to have somebody, hey, you know what I'm saying? I just did 5 hours worth of cooking. And I served it. And I ate last, making sure everybody had their fill and making sure everybody was good and making sure. And then when I entertained, and then when the gathering was over, it's 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm washing all of those dishes. Right? So women complain about that all the time. So why wasn't that a thought to have? Right? So he actually did what you're supposed to do. Just leave it where it is. Again, because I'm not gonna tussle with you about it. If you don't see this point, ain't no use in me going down the line and a bigger point have to be made just for you to miss it. You know what I'm saying? It's so simple. Einstein will miss it and Bozo will get it. Like, we not playing this game. Anyway, jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, the Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.